Let's talk about last night's political conversation on the White Lotus and the fan backlash surrounding it. So, if you're a White Lotus head, you know that last night we got the reveal that Kate, who some would argue is the most sinister of the three gossiping friends, is a Trump supporter. She tried to couch it in very delicate language. Her husband is a Republican, but she's an independent. And a lot of other people have made videos about how this perfectly tracks for her character, right? She married very well. She gets a lot of her privilege and a lot of her social status from who she married, where she is in society, where she is in life. They have multiple homes. They are apparently part of the later influx into Austin, right? She specifically says when we moved to Austin, we started going to church. So they're not blue people who just live in Austin. They specifically moved to Austin and are Republicans in a blue city. In Variety, Leslie Bibb said that the scene was written a couple of years ago in 2022, and it was timely because they filmed it last year. I've seen so many people freaking out about this moment because Leslie Bibb played it perfectly right. It's the sort of snide innocence. It's the way that it's a little bit condescending, but a little bit not. The way that she uses her womanhood to undercut criticisms that are valid about religion, right? She says, well, I'm a woman and I actually think blah, 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 blah. And the most important part, the way that she uses the right to comfort. I've made a lot of videos about this. It's a sociological concept where in tenets of white and wasp culture, whenever white people are uncomfortable and they don't want to talk about something, they will say that you're making it awkward, you're making it weird, and they will turn it on you, right? You become the bad guy and you become the villain for bringing up something that will ruin the vibe or ruin the peace, even if you are talking about people's rights or gay people's rights or trans people's rights or immigration, right? Her right to not want to disturb her little vacation or be upset ever is more important than your right to actually defend yourself. A lot of theories have been busted in the last couple of episodes. At first, people were like, oh, actually only one of them is evil. And it's no, it was very obvious from every single scene of the three of them that they were all always going to talk shit about each other. Trying to write a new narrative because you don't want to see people being mean is not what this show is about. I love the way that this scene was triangulated because you see immediately how different their points of view are, right? Jacqueline is an actress from LA, Lori is a lawyer from New York, and they are obviously very coastal elite cities. They see themselves as intellectually and culturally superior to someone like Kate, right? Kate, who lives in Austin and is going to this mega church or whatever. And obvious that Kate has a little bit of a chip on her shoulder about it, right? The way that she says, if you guys would actually come down and see what this city is about, you would see that it's not hick. This is something that's really interesting because I've talked about this before. I've called it norm breakers. And we have this thing in our society that whenever someone breaks a norm, they not only want to break the norm, but they also want to be celebrated for it, right? They don't want to face any criticism or backlash for doing the thing, even though it's unsurprising or unexpected or weird, right? When we had the cashier discourse 6 months ago, 7 months ago, whenever, people were I want the right to be extremely rude to everyone in front of me, and I don't ever want to be called out on it, right? A lot of the people who are like Kate and who voted the way Kate did want the right to say, I voted for this person, I voted for someone who is racist, transphobic, sexist, monstrous, and you are not allowed to say anything to me, even though I'm openly supporting this person who is trying to take away the rights of half of the country. And I'm sorry if you wandered here and thought that I was going to be on your side. I'm literally a gay Afro-Latino from New York. My parents are immigrants. Kate and other norm breakers will say that they're special, that they are allowed to do whatever they want and say whatever they want. But interestingly enough, no one is ever allowed to say anything to them, right? This whole idea that why is the White Lotus becoming political? It's funny because I feel people who vote like Kate are the ones who are usually making most things political, right? And yet, whenever you call them out and say, I don't think this is appropriate or this is wrong, they will say, how dare you question me? How dare you criticize me? I am beyond reproach. They want to have their cake and eat it too in the realm of public conversation because they want to be allowed to say whatever they want and they never ever want to catch any flack for it. Which is why now a lot of people on very, very, very many parts of the internet are very mad at the show, but the show made its point. This is a satire about rich people. This is a satire about the ways that money makes you mean and money makes you monstrous. I don't think the show was ever going to be on your side. And if you want more of a deep dive, I'll be talking about this on the pod on Wednesday, link in bio.